I depicted two scenes on Dina's arms, reaching up on a canvas, imagining myself listening to her story. One arm contained the pictures of what went wrong from Dina's perspective, and one that parallels each aspect of that story with what could have gone right. One arm depicts Shechem's leering stare, the other shows Dina's innocent eyes. One depicts a finger shushing her, silencing her. The other shows her mouth open, telling her story. One displays fingers crossed, a symbol not only of the deceit of her brothers, but how silencing leads to distorted emotions, including shame. Now, the other portrays an index finger pointing directly at what happened, calling attention to the harm, illustrating the great teaching by Fred Rogers: whatever is mentionable is manageable. So I drew the scenes on the arms in the center of the canvas in the style of an outsider artist, in his style, Adolf Wolfli, who himself was a survivor of sexual violence. And then the hands of Leah and Jacob reach with blessings from the corner of the canvas. Springtime flowers fill Leah's hands. Jacob's, in the style of Chagall's famous windows of the 12 tribes, bless Dina with her own tribe. In this midrash, Dina and her story in its fullness comes to the foreground. She tells her story, and in doing so, finds wholeness and blessing. And Dina is not alone in deserving to have her story told and heard. In the United States, almost 45% of women have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime. 47% of transgender people have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime. Almost a quarter of men have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime. I share these statistics with you not to scare or unsettle you. I share them with you for you to understand just how common this is. Each one of us here either is a survivor or knows someone who is a survivor. This knowledge can overwhelm. It can make us feel helpless or numb. What can we say in the face of this? What can we do? Well, Chicago author Anne Ream opens her book, Lived Through This, listening to the stories of sexual violence and survivors. She begins by asking this question: what if the world turns less on what we say and more on what we have the courage to hear? With other traumas, it's difficult to reach out at times because we'll tell ourselves, I just don't know what to say. But with most other traumas, we still feel like we should reach out. With sexual trauma, for many reasons, we shut the conversation down. And honestly, there's no good reason to shut down that conversation. The world turns less on what we say and more on what we have the courage to hear. In her own story of surviving sexual violence, Anne shares the way in which well-meaning people had a lot of guidance for her that let her know that they were not ready to listen. Take time off, they said. Stay away from the city in which you were raped. Get married and put the whole thing behind you. The sum total of this advice was, you are now irreparably broken, and the only way to get any semblance of a life after this nightmare is to run away from it. And never speak of it, lest you poison your new life with memories of it. Because others didn't know what to say to Anne, Her loved ones ended up silencing her in their presence. But she had two people who did have the courage to hear her boyfriend and her grandmother. They recognized her strength and her wisdom, her humor and her sass, even in the immediate aftermath of the violence. They didn't know what to say, but by their presence, they encouraged her to talk. And being heard helped her feel more whole. While survivors will never be the same after being raped, finding places to be recognized in their totality, knowing that they can share their experience or not share their experience, but still share who they are, brings healing. One survivor shared a photograph that they had taken in the year after their assault. The pictures of a woman, and it looked like this picture had been split in two and then pieced back together. The photographer explained, I used two different negatives of the same person and spliced them together to try to make a whole person again. Clearly the same person, but you can't ignore the rift either. Things just don't line up again in the same way, but it's okay. And when I looked again at that photograph so close to Passover, it reminded me of the ritual that directly precedes the storytelling section of our Seder, Yachatz, breaking the middle matzah. We can't begin telling our story without acknowledging our brokenness. And then we return one half of the matzah during Yachatz to its place among the other matzot, and the other half, the afikomen, we wrap in a beautiful cloth and then we hide it away. Many survivors are told to wrap up part of their own story and hide it away. Yet during our Seder, instead of covering up our people's most difficult story, our experience of oppression for 400 relentlessly violent years, we talk about it. More than that, we hear and retell survivor story after survivor story from the time of Abraham and Sarah through the rabbinic academies in Babylonia. We made it through to tell our stories. We are not alone. We focus on our strength and resilience, our creativity and community. And our Seder does not end until we all see the afikomen, that part of ourselves that we feel like we must hide, and then reunite it with its other half. The jagged pieces rarely fit back together perfectly, but they come together as a whole, showing our own path toward redemption. Things just don't line up again in the same way. That's okay. 45% of women, 47% of transgender people, and a quarter of men have experienced sexual violence in their lifetime. And these are not just numbers. These are people. They might be at your Seder table. They might be sitting with us tonight. They may be listening in. I know they are. So on this Shabbat, before Passover, let us add a fifth question to our well-known four. What if the world turns less on what we say and more on what we have the courage to hear? And then let us listen for our survivors' response.
Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for hearing for not leaving me, and for not leaving me, and for not leaving me, and for not leaving me. Thank you for being with 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 me. Join me on Thank You for Hearing Me. 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 Thank you for hearing me.
We want to say a special thank you to Karen Titus, who helped to let us know, to make us aware that April was Sexual Violence Awareness Month, and for encouraging us to lead a service like this tonight. So thank you to Karen Titus, a beloved teacher and member of this community. Also, I know that we have resources on our website, and I think that that Rabbi Gelman will share just a little bit about that.
As always, for those who are in our space and for those on Zoom, we have different ways to connect to our upcoming events and other resources that are being shared today. So for those in the space, as you came in, there was a little card with a QR code that you can access there. And for our friends who are joining us on Zoom, there should be a link in the chat for the same thing. So talking about some of our upcoming events, tomorrow at 1 p.m., we can gather with our Temple Sholom community for mindful Jewish aging, exploring the spiritual gifts of life after 50, led by Cantor Katzman, Deborah Paskind, and Andy Simmons.
I think there might be some families that will be a little busy at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So another mazel tov to the Nittich family, and Annabelle, just amazing.
Yay, Annabelle.
Thank you so much. And I just also want to say to the Nittich family, you knew what Shabbat you were coming to this evening, and how meaningful is it that you said, but I know Annabelle wouldn't want to miss this. And so meaning miss this topic and hearing about it more. Annabelle, it says the world about you. And thank you for bringing so much of your wonderful family with you here. We can hardly wait to celebrate with all of you tomorrow. There's more.
On Sunday, April 10th at 2 p.m., you can join the Brotherhood for Shuffleboard. If anyone who identifies as male or non-binary should join the Brotherhood for the next event at the Royal Palms Shuffleboard Club, which I've always wanted to go to.
Well, I'll just tell
But I
you,
won't go to this one.
Damien Conover is very excited about attending that event.
Yes.
So you can ask him or Rabbi Gelman more about this.
Me too. I'm very excited. Damien, you're going down.
And how exciting that we as a community are about to welcome in Passover. And so not just this community, but worldwide, how exciting. So a week from tonight, we'll be celebrating our first night Seder in our individual homes, and we'll have a second night Seder that we invite you to join online. To get us ready for that, we're going to be making chesed calls. We're calling everyone in our community to be able to check in and wish a happy Passover. Also to see if there are any needs that we have. I'm looking at Debbie Levinson. If I had eyes behind me, I could just turn and say, see Rabbi Singer. It's so wonderful. Oh, and Jeff Fairman. I mean, all within just a beautiful circle with the Chesed circle. So thank you for helping to organize that. And if anybody has questions about that, you can find them in the Oneg this evening, or there you'll be able to find more information by clicking on to that information.
And on Saturday, April 16th at 9 a.m., a period of time that I always look forward to, I know my colleagues do as well, when it comes to change of some melodies and some little tweaks to our liturgy as we head out of Pesach. So I get a little bit excited. So join us for our festival service on Saturday, 9 a.m.
And pay close attention, because there's a possibility that it's going to be hybrid, meaning that you might be able to either come here or enjoy it online. We are waiting for this little last pieces of technology, but we're close, and we're very hopeful that by April 16th, we'll be able to gather in person and online.
And that night, there is also going to be a sing-along. So if you are somebody who enjoys singing, is this geared? Hi.
Yes, that is definitely. We can't wait for you to join our sing-along. Will you help to lead it? We hope.
We can't wait to see you
It'll
there.
be at 5 o'clock. We hope to definitely not only see you there, but hear you there as well. And that you can join us online for. And then a little later.
And not long after that, you will find myself and my entire family, and Stacy Charney and her whole family are lovingly being hosted by the Conovers. So we will all be there for second night Seder. Damien, I hope this isn't the first time you're hearing about this. Yeah, but you go with it anyway. And so we're going to be having a beautiful big table for our second night Seder, and we'll be zooming out.
Yeah,
Our whole
everybody.
community. So it'll be awesome. We'll all be together.
I mean, I don't know that it gets better than being able to be in the comfort of your own home and watch all the chaos in my home. So you are all.
I'm happy to be in your home bringing the chaos.
It's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be.
Yes, it's going to be. We can hardly wait. And so as we look forward to that, and so many other things that we have to celebrate in our community, we turn to page 586 as we look even beyond to redemptive times with the words of Aleinu. We invite you, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו פורים, משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please be seated, because tonight we have a longer list for our yard site, for our Kaddish list than usual, because next Friday night we won't be gathering here at the synagogue, because everybody will be gathering for Sederim at their homes, for Seders at their homes. And so tonight we have an especially long list of wonderful people whom we are remembering. And I think it's appropriate that we have this extra long list at this time of year, because of course, whenever the holidays come, we are remembering all those who taught us how to truly celebrate these holidays. And so I want to share a special poem that is based on a very famous poem, We Remember Them, by Sylvan Kamens and Rabbi Jack Reamer. At the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. At the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the beginning of the Seder and when it ends, we remember them. In the cooking of their recipes and in the first bite of matzah, we remember them. At the attempts at new rituals and in the laughter of good friends, we remember them. In the wine stains on the Haggadah, and in the crumbs in its pages, we remember them. As long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. So, of course, there are some of us who are remembering people who recently passed from this earth, for whom this Seder will be especially tender. We're thinking of all of the family members of the victims of the terror attack in Tel Aviv, as we remember this evening, Eitam Megini, Tomer Murad, and Barak Lopen. We also remember those in our congregational family who recently passed from this earth. Eugene Pergament, Charles Ahern, Joseph Mann, and Don Sebastian J. We also, on this Shabbat, mark the yahrzeit of Dora Arnov, Edward Arvey, Judy Baskin, Leo Cutler, Bernard Levinson, Fred Deutsch, Moshe DeKarkar, Beatrice Grossfeld Durst, Melvin Elric, Joan Elegant, Harry Frankel, Yael Galperin, William Goldberg, Lester Holzer, Norman W. Inlander, Alan Kadett, Herbert Kadish, Marcine Coleman, Dr. Joseph Lane, Benito Leon, Ralph Marks, Maria Matchis, Ernest Newmark, Ira Penn, Chester Rosinski, Sally Rosen, Jesus Ruiz, Albert Saltz, Irving Sapkin, Henry Sellinger, Elsie Schless, Beth Soberoff, William Stacks, Werner Stock, Andre Gwen Stone, Sherman Tucker, Isabel Zisman, Danny Bailey, Elaine Susan Bervin, Max Borden, Florence Browdy, Martha Chibnick, Edward Cohn, Joseph DiDio, Francine Emerson, Rose Fadum, Margaret Fischel, Barbara Fox, Marie Jean Gaskins, Harold Ginsberg, Jean Golub, Ida G. Goodman, Rose Gross, Dorothy Hartsberg, Muriel Heffernan, Sylvia Kahana, Donald Levy, Marion Ledican, Della W. Manister, Dora Miller, Maxine Oringer, Sally Pardo, Robert Perloff, William Pillay, Patricia Raisin, Ronald Rosenson, Max Sampson, Fred Schack, Sydney Schnitz, Ann Feldman Sherman, Bernice Spiegel, Evelyn Stoll, and Eleanor Toroder. There are others whom you are remembering. I invite you to say their name. We invite you to rise as we turn to page 598 and recite the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayeh d'chol Beit Yisrael, בעגלה בזמן קריב דמרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. ואמירן בעלמה ימרו.
Amen.
יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ימרו.
Amen.
עושה שלום ממרומיו. ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Amen. Amen.
עושה שלום ממרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו, אמרו, Amen. Sit down just for a moment. 625. There's always a slight method to my madness. The closing hymn for tonight I chose for two reasons. One is because I thought after an evening of, a lot of love, but a lot of intensity, I thought sometimes we like to go back to the things that we know. And so this is what I know, and I think some of you do too. And I also chose it because I love the last line. Adonai li v'lo ira. Adonai is with me, and I shall not fear. Page 625. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa v'chatzo kol hazay melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot ha'kol levado yimloch nora v'hu hayam v'hu hoveh v'hu yihyeh v'tifara v'hu echad v'ein sheni l'ham shelo l'hachbira v'li reishit v'li tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra v'hu eli v'chai go'alim v'tzur chevli b'eit zara v'hu nisi v'manosli menat kosi b'yom ekra v'yado afkiruchi b'eiti shan v'ya'ira v'imruchi v'yati Adonai li v'lo ira.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's okay. We got unmuted. There we go.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I think something happened with the names. There are names there that said people expired, that they were dead. They're not. This
No,
last
those were
group.
supposed to be for healing, I think.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
we
they
got
did.
mixed up. Either
Oh,
that or
no.
people died within 2 days. Terrible thing to say, but.
Take a look at that.
Yeah,
We're so
Diane
sorry
Kaufman
for
is
that
very much
mistake.
alive.
But
Oh.
Sandy,
Sorry.
hey, nice seeing you. Take care. Be well.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Philip, are
Bella,
you in
Shabbat
Florida?
Shalom.
Yes, I am. I'm at a bus stop.
Oh, it's so great to see you.
Good
Hey,
to see
Phil.
you. Hi,
And Shabbat
Rita.
I
Shalom.
miss you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Elliot. Oh, it's so good to see you. Shabbat Shalom, Helene. Shabbat Shalom, Jeanette. Shabbat Shalom, Nettie. Oh, hi, Andy and Mitch.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom. Your presence means a lot, Jeanette.
Oh, thank you. I hope I'll like be able to come back in person in a couple of weeks, I think.
Oh, good.
No,
Yay!
it says Jared.
I miss everybody.
We miss you.
She's talking from Germany.
Huh?
Hi, Sandy and Myrna.
Hi,
Hi.
Hello, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat, thank you. Shabbat Shalom, Helene. Could you tell us about the artwork behind you?
This is a piece of microcalligraphy that my daughter brought back from Spot more than 20 years ago. And it's the Haggadah, and it's hanging in my dining room.
Wow.
And when I was in Chicago, I took a picture of it anticipating that I would be out of Chicago for Pesach, which in fact I will be. But I wanted to bring that image with me. And since the next time we are all on the screen together, it will be definitely Pesach. I wish you all a Chag Sameach and a beautiful beige meal, maybe with some beet horseradish. Good to see you. I can't wait to be back. It'll be soon.
Oh, we can't wait either. And I hope, Helene, that we'll pick out a really wonderful piece of microcalligraphy for Shelby when we're in Spot for you to bring back to her. Shabbat Shalom, Deb. And hi, Rika. Again, it was such an honor to be able to, a sad honor, but an honor nonetheless to get to say your father's name today.
Thank
before
you.
Kaddish.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can just imagine the beaming. What an incredible, you just do wonders for his legacy, that's for sure. We don't
thank
know him,
you.
but we already love him.
Oh, thank you so much.
And hi, Bella.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Hi. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Nettie and Norman. Oh, it's amazing to see you. Mwah. Well, does that mean that it's still light out? Can I see a little light from that window? No, I don't know. It looks a little light. Hi, Jude. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I was so excited to see you signed up for the second night Seder.
Yes, I don't know what to expect, but I'm very
I don't
excited.
either. It's going to be very exciting.
Is it too late to do that? To
No.
sign up? Oh, good.
No, it'll be so much
I was
fun.
supposed to go to my cousin's, but they're having 33 people and I'm high risk, so I can't go.
Ah, got it. Yes. No,